Arizona is already home to 18 national monuments, more than any other state. They may add another if a proposal to turn areas adjacent to the Grand Canyon into a national monument are successful. At a recent public meeting, members of the community had a chance to share their thoughts. Reporter Ariana Araiza was at the meeting and tells us who spoke in favor of protecting the land.
The area proposed for the national monument includes 1 million acres of land in 3 separate areas that surround Grand Canyon National Park. There have been calls for President Biden to set aside the land under the Antiquities Act, and most recently, Senators Kelly, Sinema, and Congressman Grijalva introduced a bill that outlines details about the national monument. Protesters lining the streets in Flagstaff call for protection of the area around the Grand Canyon.
Chair Ona Segundo.
Inside at the public meeting hosted by the Bureau of Land Management and the U.S. Forest Service was standing room only. The Baaj Nwaavjo Ita Kukveni Grand Canyon National Monument proposal seeks to protect federal lands currently managed by the BLM and the Forest Service. Members of many different tribal nations came to voice their support at the public meeting.
There's such importance behind this. For Hopi and many tribal nations, there's an intimate connection that we have with it.
Audience cheers filled the room for those in support of the monument, while boos erupted for the few opposing the proposal, including a woman who said she was representing Congressman Paul Gosar.
Arizonans cannot afford to have more taken away. Designating another 1.1 million acres as a national monument will further reduce private ownership and harm hardworking rural Americans in Mojave County.
Previously, critics worried about banning mining in the area, but supporters say concerns over uranium mining is a reason why the land needs to be protected. They are particularly worried about health concerns, particularly contamination of the Colorado River, a main water source for many.
Uranium mining poses a threat to the fragile and critical springs and waters in the proposed monument site. This poses a great risk of contamination for the indigenous tribes who call the canyon their home.
Edmund Talusi is the vice president for the Havasu Pai tribe, and he says the land is historic and sacred.
Canyon National Monument will protect areas of the Grand Canyon region, such as our traditional sweat lodges, ancient trails. Red Butte, our sacred mountain, needs to be protected and preserved for future generations to come.
Members of the Flagstaff City Council and the mayor also spoke in support of the proposed monument. In the newsroom, Ariana Araiza, Cronkite News.